the Dealing and Healing Luncheon featuring Melva Matthews.
Some of you may know her as Nene. She is a mother of a beautiful daughter, Tiana, her miracle baby. She has been a licensed cosmetologist for 16 years, and 5 years ago, she decided to become a fitness trainer and a sports nutritionist after battling a rare cancer. She's the founder of Butterfly Fitness. That name and that business was just manifesting a new future for her. So go ahead and give it up for Melva Matthews.
This song helped me through a whole lot. A whole lot. A whole lot. A whole lot. Because when people tell you no, God tells you yes. Dealing while healing was something that really, what can I say, it's my life. And I call it the 5 P's: processing, properly, prevent, prolong pain. All right. Who would have thought? A girl growing up in a loving 2-parent home that never witnessed an argument or separation ever till this day would experience or accept heartbreak after heartbreak. Well, that girl, you're looking at her. I'm going to take you all on a quick journey of who I am, how I use the 5 P's while healing through love, success, heartbreak, failures, and an incurable illness. I'm going to start off with my family dynamic. My mom is here today, Pastor Matthews. I'm so happy she's able to sit here today. My mom just had spinal surgery, but I'm happy she came. But my family dynamic was a blended family. Yes, my mother and father were married before each other, but they've been married for 48, 47 years, and my dad had children before my mom. My mom had a child before my dad from her first marriage, his, but they found love again. And they taught us love in that household that we did not know the difference of who child was what, because everybody had the same whooping. Everybody had the same discipline. Everybody did the same thing, and you gonna get checked. My father, on the other hand, he was the soft one. My mom was Mike Tyson. But this is where I learned how to love properly and effectively. When it comes to siblings, when it comes to family, and when it comes to friends. Because I learned that because it was displayed in our household. And what is expected of a father. Not saying that we had a perfect life. Not saying that everything was all peaches and cream. I can't say that. But I can say that I learned values. I learned how to live a great life. I learned how to display a great life. I was loved so much that one of my friends told me, once I got older, the problem is your parents had you in Pleasantville. And when you reached your adult life, you got out here and got hurt. That's because I had brothers in the household with me. I'm my mom's only biological daughter, and I'm my dad's youngest daughter. And I have brothers that lived in the house with me, and they're older, and I got one younger. I still beat them all up. It didn't matter because I was a fighter. They know I drop kick them, and they know I run their life. Still do to this day. Me being the one named after my father, his name is Melvin. He named me Melvin. Why he waited to name me and not them boys, I think my mother wasn't happy about it either, but she had to release that right there. So I want to tell you the meaning of Melvin, and I'm going to tell you a little bit about my father. His name meaning that he was gentle, a gentle Lord, gentle, kind, and thoughtful. I would always say, Daddy's soft. He let Mama just say whatever to him, and he just go along with it. I could tear his car up. I remember I was 5 years old. My brothers dared me, I'm gonna do it. So what I did was, I said, he gonna go on McDonald's to get us some food. I pulled that thing, they said drive. I ran right into the post office. I sure did. What did he do? I'm whooping you again. I'm never hit. So I'm thinking to myself, I gave up my McDonald's. And what happened was, this man thumped me like this. That was my foot. I beat the boys up, you better give me my food. And that's how it was. So I said to myself, why would he name me that? Then I looked up my name, meaning handmaiden, ruler, warrior, or honey. So basically, I'm a warrior with a touch of sweetness. A kind woman with compassion. And that's something that I struggled with. Why can I have compassion for people and they don't have it for me? How can I pour into them and they have nothing to pour into me? 10 years ago, I want y'all to stick that in your head, what happened to me 10 years ago. But I want you to look at my outer person now. I graduated high school in 3 years with honors. I went to college, completed 3 years, and that's I'm gonna leave it there. I completed 3 years, didn't I? She wasn't happy about that. And I was offered a job making more than my degree would have started off with. So you guys know what I did. I said goodbye to college, hello to the money. My mom was devastated, but my dad said, well, you got a job. You're going to work like your dad. You're going to make some money. Because that's what he do. He that money maker. Then I did that. 21 years old. I'm living my life. I bought me a car. I'm happy. Yeah, I got a good job. They told me before I couldn't have any children. Okay, my brothers, they have a lot of kids. My friends have kids. I got all their kids. I don't need no kid anyway. It is what it is. Boom, 21, I get pregnant. I said, okay, baby ain't gonna survive anyway. They said I ain't strong enough to hold it. I suffered with fibroid tumors, very bad. They wanted my mom to decide to give me a hysterectomy when I was 17 years old. She said absolutely not. I went on this cleansing journey. I'm pregnant, the baby survived, and wow, I have a beautiful daughter. The blessing that made my life turn upside down because, as my dad said, she took the hot out of me. Because I'm going to party. That's what I was going to do. I'm going to party. I'm going to have a good time. But I'm still going to go to work. I'm going to stay out all night. I leave, run home, take a shower, put my clothes on. After I partied all night and drank all night, and I'm gone. I never thought I would be a single mom. I never thought I would accept it because at this point, that wasn't my life. That wasn't the life that I decided, but people decide different. You think you choose someone like you with a two-parent home, parents that's in church and all of that, because my mom is a pastor. His parents was evangelists and stuff, but he didn't want us. And that was a thing that I had to accept. And I accepted it. And I decided that was my for real heartbreak. Me going through a pregnancy, alone, having a child that they said I couldn't have, but she was my blessing. She was my blessing. Once my mother told me, you have a baby, that's your baby. I ain't doing all that babysitting. I ain't doing all of that. You decided to have that, and that's what I did. Got a home first, and then I got my second one. Because I met someone that I had a couple of heartbreaks before that. Very traumatic. So somebody said they want to marry me. I was ready. I said yes. Got married to him. He's older. I'm thinking, okay, Navy, vet. Oh, I'm getting some money. All this and that. It gets down to closing on a house. Nope. You gonna close this one by yourself. And then when you are upset with your parents that set a guideline for you and they seek God before you seek God, my mom said, if you're gonna marry him, you gonna have a house in your name. You gonna have a house that my grandbaby gonna have a park in the back. She gonna have her swing to swing on. She gonna do all because ain't nobody gonna put you out. I was so angry. She said, and if you don't, you can cancel this wedding that me and your daddy paying for. Because then we spending money. My wedding price was about $28,000. And my daddy, he gonna listen to what I say. But she wasn't. She was gonna stop that money. I closed on the house. It was just mine. The things started happening then. But I went ahead on and still got married. It got worse. The detail is, I came home one day, and we paid the bills on the 15th. I made sure everything is done. I let him keep his own account and give me out a joint account, and I had my own. But I was a little taken back and thinking, okay, he's still my husband. And this particular time that this mortgage was due, I sat up there and I went in and I said, I'm gonna pay my bills and all of this and put everything in that account. Well, this particular day, I was a business manager for Sam's Club. I worked for them for 7 years. I was a business manager, and this particular day, my whole marketing team called off on me. I normally sit in the office, pay my bills, play around, run around, and do what I want to do. This particular day, no, you gotta go run your membership drive. So I pick my baby up from daycare, mind you, pick her up from daycare. I come home, my whole house empty. My whole house empty, and my account is empty too. But me and my baby had a bed to sleep in. And I remember she said I had Italian cream furniture, and she's a little kid. She was happy she could run through this house, and I sat on that stuff and I cried. And my baby said to me, and I'll never forget it, and I'll never, ever let nobody do anything else to me in life. I'm sitting on that, I called my mom. I said, Mom, you took all the money, my told you I have a plan. She said, when your daddy get home, we'll be over there. And I'm sitting on the steps crying, my baby, right? She ran up to me, she said, Mom, we all we got. She said, as long as we got each other, we gonna be all right. This was a 4-year-old kid, about to turn 5. This was a month before her 5th birthday. And she just hugged me, and it's like I can see her right now. I'm sitting on the stairs. And she just said, it's gonna be okay, Mommy. It's gonna be okay. So, my dad came over. He expressed, he said, I told him if he couldn't handle you, to give you back to your daddy. He said, I'm gonna get this mortgage up for you. He said, you're gonna take care of this baby, and you're gonna live your life. So then my life went on. I'm working, and I'm missing everything in my daughter's life. Because I worked a job that I traveled, I did a lot. I tried to switch to Verizon. I went there 3 years, worked for America. That job, it still didn't allow me to do anything. I was still missing things. So I decided I'm gonna go ahead and be a cosmetologist. My mother was really devastated about that. You're gonna walk away from my job. I said, yep, I'm gonna take down my 401k, I'm gonna pay this mortgage for a year, and I'm gonna get out of school, I'm gonna finish school in 1 year, I'll finish in 10 months. And I've been doing that. So, I decided, he wouldn't give me a divorce though. He didn't give me a divorce, so I had to deal with that, with trying to build relationships with men that wanted to be with you, that they wouldn't be with you because your husband can come back at any given time. And I had to deal with that. That was something that was hurtful. I missed people that I know would have been that person for me, but I had to move on because at the end of the day, life goes on. So life went on. I want to say in 2014, my life flipped upside down. I was diagnosed with an uncurable cancer. I was supposed to be disfigured, and I was supposed to be paralyzed. You see I'm walking, don't you?
Yeah. Come on now.
So, when people say no, God says yes.
Yes.
Was it easy? No, it wasn't. Did I have the days that I thought that I wouldn't make it? When I went to the doctor, they said, we don't even know what it is. It's so rare, 0.002% people in the world has it. It's called aggressive fibromatosis desmoid tumor. And normally people can get operated on. But I'm that rare case. Mine's sitting next to my heart. So I cannot be operated on. They thought they still was going to do a trial on me because I was a test dummy. So they did. I went to the doctor. They said, well, one doctor said nothing I can do for you, but it's somebody else. So they had a whole team. The whole team came together. They said, so we're gonna have to remove your whole chest plate. We're gonna take 3 of your ribs out. Then you're gonna be nothing but mesh. You're gonna go through 17 surgeries before you have reconstruction. No one would ever be able to hug you. No one would ever be able to really be around you, especially if they said, you're gonna live in a bubble. I said, okay, but I'm still gonna live. Mind you, I got a daughter. Now at this age, my daughter got accepted to Princeton University for high school when she was in 7th grade. When I say brilliant, she's brilliant. And I said to myself, she said, I wanna go, Mom. How can we afford it? How can I do this? Then the diagnosis came. She had already took the test. She wanted to go. She didn't pick Princeton. So she still wanted to go to boarding school once they gave me up to die. So I said, okay, we picked a school that still had activities and everything. So, but this school was $51,500 a year for high school. Then you cannot take a loan, and it's hard to get a scholarship. Mind you, I'm sick at this point. They wanted to start chemotherapy because we decided not to do the surgery. I'm sitting in the doctor's office with the surgeon. We're waiting. Oh, I believe back up. My brothers and sisters could never come back to the doctor again. Never. They fainted when the doctor said there ain't nothing they can do. So they never coming back, ever. I'm sitting there and with a face, and I'm like, they like, but we said, the doctor said, y'all falling apart. They done hit their knees, they everywhere. I told my parents they cannot come out. They said, well, we got somebody else you can see, and that was the surgeon. We get to the surgeon. I sit in there and I say, me and my mom sitting, my dad at park. The surgeon said, is the patient coming? Because I'm sitting there laughing and talking. It's me. And so he looked at me, and he opened the paper. He said, okay. He said, did you give me a moment? And he came back. He said, my dad got in there, he said, what I have before me on this paper is not what sits in front of it. He said, but are you willing to do the medical part? He said, you're going to lose all that hair. I said, but am I going to live? He said, you're going to have a quality of life. He said, if I touch you, you're going to have a quality of life. I said, let's go for it. I get on the chemotherapy. I still try to work, which I wasn't supposed to, because my hands start crippling. I can have a scissor in my hand and it's gonna drop. So I will hold my hand to complete because I know my daughter needed to go to this school and this tuition needed to be paid. So I started the chemo, bust every line in my hair, my feet was bust open, I had rosacea all over my face, I started balding. Everything that could go wrong was going wrong because I didn't have the capacity to accept that medicine because it was so strong. So what happened was, I lived in Algonquin then, probably an hour and 30 minutes from my parents in Country Club Hills when I started it. I drove all the way to their house. My hands was bleeding, my feet was bleeding. I don't even know how I made it to their house. I couldn't even turn the car off. But my dad opened the door. My grandmother was sitting at the table because they were taking care of her, and I helped them take care of her. I would come to their house when I didn't work, Sunday through Tuesday. I would stay there to take care of my grandmother because she was strictly in a wheelchair. And they opened the door, all I did was fall in. My dad just grabbed me like, what is going on? And my parents, you're not gonna stay that far away. Get rid of that condo and you coming home. Which I was so independent, I didn't want to. I came home. My grandmother passed away. As I was going through everything, when I started the chemo, I shattered my fibula in my ankle. I shattered it to the leg, flipped back to me. So, I'm still walking in these heels though right now. I didn't walk for a long time. How bad I shattered it was they told me I would never walk anyway because the chemo, everything was taking over, the tumor sat on top of my nerves. So at this point, I said to myself, okay, I done did all I can do. Life is life. I didn't give up. I kept going. When you keep going, nothing can stop you. Nothing will stop you if you have perseverance, if you are resilient, if you sit there and you put God first. That is a lot of things that we don't do.
Yes.
I'm never perfect, but what I do is I understand the assignment that was placed in front of my life. And that assignment was to talk to people about getting through things that you could never possibly think you would make it through. Who would think that 2 failed marriages, an illness, a shatter, a loss of so many people in my family that I was their caregiver, because it seems like I'm the drop off. I'm just gonna be honest, they drop bodies off to me, and I watch them pass away. And I do it with grace, and I do it with passion, and because I love elderly, and I love people, and I love children, God has placed things in front of me that a lot of people would not ever go through.
Yes.
And healing is a thing that God placed in me now. I didn't think that my life would turn into something so great, because what was before me, and what was before me was, it's over. But I said no.
Right.
I was not going to allow a marriage, an illness, an injury to take me out. And when you deal with things properly and you set yourself up for the prize, because that's my 6th thing. I know I'm the prize.
Yes.
I know that God has placed everything inside of me to give it to somebody else.
Yes.
Anything that you go through, you can beat.
Yes.
We all have a timeline, but we all don't have to do the timeline being sad, being under depression,
Right.
being under somebody else's wing to make you live. You pull yourself up and you say to yourself, I am somebody.
Yes.
I am something to somebody, especially if you're a
Yes.
mother. You cannot show them every part of the weakness that we have. And being a woman, we go through so many things that nobody else could ever understand.
Right.
But we give people too much power. I decided not to give a marriage power. I decided not to give failure power. I decided not to give illness power. I decided not to give any of it power. But I do praise God for everything I have and everything I need. Because He is the one that gives me everything I need.
Yes.
So then, after all of this, I'm on chemo every day. I didn't get a break. My desmoid and my tumor were so aggressive, I took it every day for 5 years. Unheard of. My kidneys started shutting down. My liver started shutting down. My doctor said, we shrunk the tumor a little bit. Enough that they want to cut you, but I don't want to cut you. But they're going to stop me from giving you the medicine. He said,